First, I want to share some unbridled optimism for how AI could help shift the focus of health data interoperability in the near future. And then I want to share a parable from the recent past that I'll call a tale of two data formats. So first, the optimism. We spend a lot of time today in the health data standards community focused on output or export formats. We worry a lot about whether we've got the curly braces in the right place and assigned appropriate LOINC codes. And we bemoan the lack of data quality. But the truth is that the variability in data quality often stems from upstream care process variability. And my hope is that AI will help us lift our focus above export formats and more towards things that'll help improve the quality of care as it's delivered. Answering questions like, do we have the right differential diagnosis? Are we ordering the best lab tests and imaging studies and doing the right physical exam? When we make treatment decisions, are we following clinical guidelines? Are we accounting for patient preferences? Are we improving our practice over time with the kind of feedback that we'd expect from a trusted colleague or mentor? And I really think that AI might give us the space to take on these challenges. But now for the parable, which I've internalized as a cautionary tale. I have two different examples where CMS imposed different requirements on health plans to openly publish their provider directories. So these directories are supposed to help patients shop for the best plan or make the best use of the plan that they have. And in one case, CMS mandated the use of an open standard, a FHIR implementation guide that had been balloted through this community consensus process. And in the other case, CMS imposed a requirement to use this bespoke data format that was essentially cooked up by the project team. And if you think you know how this plays out, I haven't told you any of the pertinent details yet. Because in the FHIR example, CMS essentially published a requirement to use this standard, but didn't have any good way to tell if a given plan was meeting the requirement, didn't have any kind of enforcement mechanism around it. And the implementations up to this point have been essentially useless. In the other project, the CMS team that defined the bespoke data model was actually the team building out the healthcare.gov feature that would let consumers filter health plans based on the care providers that they wanted to see or based on the medications that they needed to take. So this team was accountable for the end result, and they guided the technology in a way that would meet their requirements. So the magic really was that feedback loop. And the generalizable lesson is not that standards are bad and custom data formats are good, but rather that the best and highest role for federal government goes beyond just setting requirements and establishing enforcement mechanisms. So I don't know all the ways that AI is going to change health data interoperability, but a critical role for the federal government is to be at the table as an active participant, building out real-world systems that leverage the interoperable data and workflows, and holding the system accountable through that tight feedback loop, so that by the time we impose requirements across the board, we're confident that they're actually going to work at scale.